Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Christopher.
I do not have anything for you.
Oh, thank God, because I don't have anything for you either.
It's all right. Except the world has something for you.
What's that?
The Superman teaser. What'd you think?
Oh, Christopher.
Yeah.
I think his costume looks stupid. I think the new logo looks stupid. Love that dog.
Whoa.
Love that dog.
Yeah.
And
Why do you not like the costume so much?
It looks really armory, and he's got a collar.
Yeah.
Which grosses me. I think Superman should be dressed like a wrestler. You know.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I think I like how primary it is.
Oh, absolutely.
And how simple and smooth it is. Because I personally am not a big fan of we've talked about this before, the like Dark Knight style like armor look that like Marvel and the DC have had for a while now, where it's like it just reminds me of police violence. I can't put it anywhere. It just reminds me of the cops beating up bad guys.
Absolutely. It's like
so please, yes, transition to more of a superhero, not superhero, but the professional wrestling look. That'd be preferable. And I think this is a good step in the right direction, in my opinion. From that,
he's got the.
So I like it.
I think the underwear help a lot.
100%.
But it's all the piping and the lines on the shoulders, and you're right.
I didn't look that close. I just saw smooth.
It's all there.
I saw it on my phone.
I know the understanding is to make it kind of break it up a little bit, so it's not just a big blue mass.
Nah, big blue mass, perfect.
But big blue mass, perfect, because if you break it up in the very specific way they're doing it to make it look realistic, you're right, he looks like a fucking cop.
Yeah.
And they all look like cops, and I hate that.
Uh-huh.
But
Dog cool.
Green
Lantern there.
I love that he's Hawkgirl there,
yeah.
Mr. Terrific there.
I don't know what Mr. Terrific is.
He's got a big T on his face. He's out with the Justice League a lot. I know nothing about him.
I do like James Gunn's approach to comic movies, which seems very similar to Grant Morrison's approach to the comic books, which is that thing of either it's all dumb or none of it's dumb.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
that's why I like the dogs there immediately.
Yeah. I love that. And here's another thing I want to say. I like my Batman brooding, but nobody else needs to brood. No, not a single other superhero needs to brood.
Yes.
Batman broods, but nobody else broods.
I was having this conversation with someone the other day.
Yeah.
We were talking about that new Superman movie, and they're like, God, I just hope they don't make him like a fucking Boy Scout again.
Yeah,
like,
I hope they make him a Boy Scout.
I'm like,
let's have some fucking fun. Stop being so serious.
Bad take. That's a bad
horrible
Superman
take.
You already have Batman.
Yeah.
Superman's whole thing is like...
Yeah. Shit's way too serious. You make me feel like I'm watching The Wizard of Oz, please. I want...
Absolutely.
And maybe I laugh also.
That's the whole point of
Superman. Or maybe a
Superman.
boner? It could be a little sexy is all I'm saying.
It makes Superman sexy again.
Make Superman sexy again.
Put him in a little wrestler outfit.
Yeah.
Let me see those big old muscles. Make him sexy again.
Put the yellow logo on the fucking cape. On the back. On his back.
It is.
I didn't see it that much. It's a teaser on my iPhone. Anyways. We watched The Holdovers.
Play the music.
Eating Soup Alone is a podcast hosted by me, Christopher Crumley, and co-hosted by Nicholas Johnson. We try our best to ramble incoherently about a handful of movies at least once a week.
But with sleigh bells?
Yeah, I'll be able to do that.
You're hating that. You don't like that idea.
How would I do that, Chris?
Oh.
Okay,
I think I tried to do it one year.
I'll figure it out.
I think you hated it.
I don't remember, but I'll see what I can do.
Holdovers. What's your...
I saw it was coming out and thought, hey, I gotta go see that. That looks good.
Came out last year?
Yeah, last year, maybe year before. Last year, yeah.
Yeah, 2023. Because I remember people were like, this is Paul Giamatti's fucking...
opus.
Yeah.
But also, I remember, I forgot until right now, reading something about how the script was stolen from somebody else.
Interesting.
So,
like how stolen? Like stealing the idea or just like slapping your name on it?
Alexander Payne's The Holdover accused of plagiarism by Luca writer. Yada, yada, yada.
Who's Luca?
Luca's a Pixar movie. Read
me the allegation.
The The Evans screenplay has been plagiarized line by line from Frisco is genuinely overwhelming. Anyone who looks at even the briefest sample pretty much invariably uses the word brazen. He was referring to his own screenplay, Frisco, a drama centered around a world-weary, middle-aged children's doctor and the 15-year-old patient he gets stuck with looking after. And the Holdovers, a drama revolving around a world-weary, middle-aged boarding school teacher and a 15-year-old pupil he gets stuck looking after. In the latter, the teacher's Paul, played by Paul Giamatti. Yada, yada, yada. Back in 2013, Frisco was one of the hottest screenplays in town when it landed at number 3 on the Blacklist, an annual survey of Hollywood's best unproduced screenplays founded by Franklin Leonard. The Holdovers, of course, is Alex Payne's critically acclaimed focus, yada, yada, yada. It was considered a bunch of other unrelated stuff. So yeah, I guess it sounds a lot like that out of the script. I haven't looked into it. Maybe I'll do it later. I'll come back to you next week, or I'll come back to you in 2 weeks to tell you.
So there's no result of like the court of public opinion, like what people feel like is the.
There might be. There just wasn't any in that Variety article.
Is there anything on Wikipedia? Has it made it to the Pedia?
Okay. Let's see.
Pull her up. Well, you got like a little bit of a smirk going. What's going on over there?
I'm reading an article on plagiarismtoday.com titled "Why the Holdovers is Not Plagiarism."
Did it sway you?
I'm still reading.
Okay, you go ahead. I'll wait. Plagiarism.com is so funny. Is it literally plagiarism.com? It's
plagiarismtoday.com.
Plagiarism today. Okay.
In short, writers have noticed that the similarities between the two films deal more in generic plot elements and structures rather than specific details.
Okay.
The scenes have in common deals with structure, yet, for example, a boss calling an employee into their office or two characters getting stuck together in a quiet place. Stuff like that.
Okay.
So, note. Okay, never mind. The last section of this article, my analysis, has the thing at the top that says, note, I have not seen The Holdovers, nor have I read Frisco. Okay, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, what's your experience with The Holdovers, Chris?
Everybody said Paul Giamatti freaked it, and that was about it. I really genuinely had no idea what the fuck it was about, even.
Yeah.
I did not know nothing.
Yeah, I would love to see Paul Giamatti freak stuff, because I think he's a real freak. And I thought this kid was funny. I kept seeing him like all over social media after this movie came out. Tully, I'm sure the actor has a name as well.
He's 22, fun fact.
Oh.
Yeah. Not to be that guy, but the whole time I was like, this kid is way older than 15.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a man.
When I was reading this right now, I was like, I could have sworn this kid was 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. And then that girl that he kisses at that party, she's like 18 or 19 in real life or something like that.
I saw her. I was like, that girl's 13
exactly.
years old.
I was like, this seems like a huge age.
Yeah.
It's not. But it visually looked like a big one.
Anyway, Chris?
Yeah.
What did you think of The Holdovers?
I liked it. I thought it was cozy. It reminded me of Catcher in the Rye, and made me really want to kill John Lennon. It also reminded me of Bully.
Yeah, when he's on the phone with his mom, I got those vibes big time.
Yeah. And I would say I thought it was charming, a little quirked. Some decent performances for sure from Paul Giamatti, and then the lady who's babied, or not baby, but like her son dies. I liked her the most, probably. I think she was the highlight for me personally.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I like this boy. He's fun. He's got a very funny early 20th century what manner of speaking. I feel like. I don't know, just that thing of just oh yeah, right, and then I'm just gonna not do my Roman legion homework later.
It's a problem I have throughout this entire movie.
Yeah,
with him and every actor who is not Mary.
Yeah,
everybody speaks like Paul Giamatti in this movie.
Yeah,
and am I wrong? Do you know what I'm? Did you pick?
I know what you're saying. Yeah, you said exactly in the text. I was like, well, I wouldn't say exactly, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, there's an enunciation overlap for sure.
Like if anybody else was playing Paul Giamatti in this movie, if it was like a biopic of Paul Giamatti, I'd be like, that's good. You're not doing an impression. You're just doing him. It's good. It's good. It's just it feels like that. Like it's just it feels like everybody on set was hanging out with Paul Giamatti, and if you hang out with Paul Giamatti, you probably just end up talking like Paul Giamatti a little bit.
And Mary talks a bit like a Bostonian.
Oh,
She
absolutely.
got that Bostonian accent. But yeah. So generally, enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I think it was fun. I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's not one of like. It reminds me of one of those like hey, much like the guy who from Plagiarism Today. I didn't read this article, but I saw some article that was like, "What if I happened to the Middlebrow movie?" And like I feel like what I'm assuming that means is like that shit that's like not necessarily The Godfather, but it's also not trash. It's just like we made it for 10 million and it's probably gonna make 50. One of those movies.
Yeah.
Right here, boom. It's a good. I'm gonna don't even know the definition. I'm gonna call it a Middlebrow movie. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It doubled its budget, so that works.
Great.
So there's a clip that floats around all the time on Twitter, I see, of Matt Damon on Hot Ones talking about that, about why those Middlebrow movies don't get made anymore.
Sure.
It's because they made most of their money in DVD sales.
Right.
And that's just not a thing anymore, so studios don't want to make those movies because they're not going to make their money back and nearly quick enough. So
Lame.
yeah,
Lame.
it's a big bummer.
Yeah, I mean it's so strange because like you look at Wikipedia and it says like, hey, made this thing for 10 million and it made 50 million. And then also you'll read the section that says like reception or whatever, and it'll have like the box office or shit, and it'll be like, even though this movie turned a profit like on paper, it was seen as a financial loss. And you're like, god damn, how?
Yeah.
How does the gap between 10 and 50, that 40 million, what are you not like I guess there's probably a bunch of stuff that they're not including in like the budget. But same thing with like, we'll talk about it in another episode, but Tron turned a budget on paper but was seen as a financial disappointment by Disney.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But it sold all them video games.
They sold a bunch of video games?
So the Tron video game was super popular.
Was
I
it
think.
really?
It was way more popular than the movie from what I understand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you just do like the bike?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But
I've seen games like that, like Centipede is kind of like the Tron bike.
all I could...
You know what I'm talking about?
We have to wait.
Yeah,
There's so
you're
much
right.
to say about Tron.
Okay.
But yeah, I think this movie, for being a Middlebrow movie, I
Yeah.
think having the noteworthy and talked about performance from Paul Giamatti, and it just being like, Focus Pictures, a Miramax movie, those
Yeah.
things definitely help it getting out there.
Sure.
That's the only reason I can think of this movie making double its budget, which
Sure.
doesn't sound great, but it's better than a lot of movies lately. Yeah, Randolph, the woman who played Divine Joy Randolph, who played Mary, won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for this movie.
Wow, she deserved it. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
That's
'cause
really cool.
That was my biggest takeaway. Is all I heard from this movie was how good Paul Giamatti is in it,
Yeah.
and my biggest takeaway is how good she was in this.
Yeah, absolutely. I
She was
agree with you.
absolutely the best part of this movie.
I agree with you.
I like this movie, by the way.
Yeah, I like this movie.
But it is, however, the longest movie I've ever seen. I don't know why.
I broke it up into 2 separate viewings, so that probably
Yeah.
aided a bit. Yeah.
Oh, I raw dogged it last night all by itself. Yeah. It was tough. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed every minute of it.
Sure.
I love a weird aspect ratio.
Yeah.
I love a Paul Giamatti.
Yeah. I have something I want to ask you about the production side of films lately.
Yeah, what's up?
It's something I've been looking at and I don't like. But I've noticed that every movie, it seems like, do they have people that are like removing shit from the background that they don't want?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how frequently it's happening in a movie like The Holdovers, but it's definitely happening.
I feel like in every movie I see it, like, if you just pay attention, which I've been doing a lot lately, I mean every movie, even The Holdovers, and I get it because The Holdovers is a period piece, but even shit that's set in modernity, they really, I feel like, clean up, like, just whatever, like, people hanging around that you don't want hanging around, or, like, that kind of thing, like, just any kind of, like, visual clutter.
Okay.
I feel like it gets very cleaned up. Is just what I'm looking at.
Do you mean like digitally cleaned up, or
Yeah.
like deciding not to have that many people in the shot? Okay,
I'm saying like there's just like 2 people on a bridge rather than be like, can you please get off the bridge? Like, it just seems like they'll just like almost airbrush the background to be almost like a Norman Rockwell painting version of the world instead of being like a digital cleanup almost.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't. Yeah. Again, I don't know if it happens in middlebrow movies like The Holdovers with a $13 million budget.
Yeah.
But that happens quite often. It's a huge bummer to see.
It is because
behind the scenes stuff for movies, because 9 times out of 10, if somebody's standing outside in a movie, they're still, even if they are outside, there's a blue screen behind them.
Yeah.
To like place in whatever sky or
Sure.
skyline or amount of people that you want. Yeah,
Because I'm just thinking about like whatever they called it in the 70s, like the new cinema or whatever the fuck. I'm thinking of like just movies like Taxi Driver and shit. Like, but whatever. I'm just thinking about any movie up until recently, like, the background was just full of like. If you're far enough in the background, like not even extras, just people actually living their day.
Yeah.
And like just trash and like shit was just like, it's not like they could be like, yeah, we don't really want this fucking billboard for Dunkin' Donuts here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's
and
a guy.
It just feels so sterile these days. Like when I'm watching a movie, I'm like looking in the back and I'm like, this is like, why not just have them stand? Like, let's just put them on stage again. It almost feels like a stage play more than like I'm watching
There's a guy
footage
in
of life.
Teen Wolf who just has his dick out in the background of one scene.
Yeah,
Just
bring the dicks back.
Let's keep doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's let accidents happen.
Yeah.
The most egregious ones though are fucking. I remember seeing like a visual breakdown for that last Spider-Man movie. Because I like stuff like that where it's just like, okay.
That's why I figured I'd ask you, because I figured you'd know.
Yeah, I like the stuff where it's like, okay, if we have like a 100% CGI Spider-Man, because he's gonna have to be 100% CGI sometimes. How do you light this, and how does like light reflect off the? Like, I like that like kind of creative thinking, and that feels like filmmaking to me. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it that I saw was Tom Holland walking on a treadmill on a blue screen, and then they put New York in front of it.
Yeah.
It's just him walking up to a building. But you guys couldn't go to New York. Fucking Disney. You can't go to New York and film in front of a building. But I guess the thing is, they're making changes to those movies so up to the line that even if you see that movie day one, if you go see it day 5, you're seeing technically a different movie because they're still editing it by that time.
Yeah.
And so they want everything to be changeable at all moments. So that's why
and I'm sure
like
they
that,
also have a big
sucks.
boner for like, and if we shoot out and like people will see it and leaks and blah 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 blah. So
that's why I'm excited about this Superman, baby. I seen set photos. They're just out here, no blue screens. I'm sure there's a crazy amount of visual effects in Superman, but still.
Yeah. But what would a Superman movie look like in 2024 where they couldn't use any CGI? I'd love to see someone tackle that, like to actually like, because Marvel and DC are in the midst of like the whole thing where it's like, what if we do like little one-offs and stuff? I want to see somebody totally practical effect the whole superhero movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have a huge budget. Let's just make it an hour and a half if you want.
It's something
like,
I've heard.
Give me a practical one.
I heard Ryan Reynolds say a couple times in like some interviews that I've seen him in, where like, he's like, yeah, one of the movies I pitched to Marvel for Deadpool 3 was like a $2 million budget movie. Yeah. Like if we just had to make a Deadpool movie on, like make it like a Dinner for Andre type movie, and I'm like, no, you didn't. You did not do that, Ryan Reynolds. But have you ever seen the behind the scenes of them like filming Christopher Reeves flying in the first Superman movie? Mm-mm. It's him and who plays Lois?
Margot Kidder.
Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
It's just the two of them on a zip line inside of a studio, just with a camera following them, just being zipped to the other side of a studio with a camera following them. It's so sick.
That's funny. Well, anyways, the Holdovers. Yeah, we can give a quick rundown. Tully is a young kid who
sucks ass.
Yeah, you find out later his dad is in a mental hospital and that his mom is remarried and she's going to spend Christmas in the Bahamas, even though she told Tully that they would like go to Boston or something or whatever, but now he's getting abandoned, so he's upset. Then he's got all of his little rich friend classmates.
I thought when he called his mom on the phone,
I
thought it was already understood that he was staying there. He was a holdover, but fucking...
Just watching my Christmas lights get blown down by the wind.
Spooky wind.
Yeah.
The phone call with his mom really got me. I was just like, oh no, this movie by the end in the next 4 hours is going to make me cry.
Didn't? Or did?
We'll get there, but yeah,
okay.
I teared up. I didn't cry, but I was so unbelievably sad that I teared up, which I think is as bad as crying.
Paul Giamatti is an asshole.
Yeah.
Just like you can't know that much about ancient Rome. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can't.
I mean, but I was thinking about it, especially when it shows the boys like in the infirmary where they're sleeping and they're all just like staring at a wall or reading a book. I'm like, all right, 1970 is fucking hell. You would have to know a bunch about ancient Rome, I guess.
Or bet on horses or something, Get addicted to cocaine.
That's true. Buy a guitar.
Yeah. But anyways, charming in a certain way. Again, bullyish. She seems like a teacher from Bully to me.
Yeah, it really it hit me like Oh, right. I totally forgot that schools are full of adults like this who just love being an asshole and think they're being an asshole to help people. I'm like, oh, right. I was just, oh, right. I don't miss high school.
It's
That's
like
right.
Whiplash.
Oh, it's exactly like Whiplash.
So anyways, so basically a bunch of kids flunked the test right before Christmas break, except Tully, and then Tully makes everybody mad because he's like, oh, we're going to do a makeup, and then Tully's like, why are we going to do a makeup? And they're like, and the teacher's like, okay, I guess we don't have to do a makeup. And everybody's like, Tully, god damn. Some people go home from this boarding school. Other people stay back. They're the holdovers. There's not many of them. And they don't last long because one of the rich kids' dad shows up as like, you all want to go skiing? And they all leave, and it's just Paul Giamatti and Tully.
Because he can't get in touch with his mom.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to note, in that library, there's a bunch of lamps that you have.
This is true. Gotta start a second Instagram where I just take pictures of my lamp and movies.
I keep telling you.
Yeah. Anywho, from there, it's just those two hanging out. They already, in my opinion, you can already get hints of the kindred spirit aspect of these two. You know, there's a couple of little...
I was pretty stoked when this happened because we're with that other group of kids for quite a while, I feel. And I was just like, oh, okay. I didn't know that this is how this movie was going to work. And then I was just like, I kind of don't want to have to care about these kids at all. And then as soon as they're gone, I'm like, oh, cool. Oh, cool.
I like the late nights with Mary where she's just watching reruns of game shows and they're drinking together and smoking ciggies.
Yeah, and the second... Every time this movie made me sad, I wrote it down.
Sure.
Second time it made me sad is when she's asking him if he's ever been married. And he goes, this is not a face made for romance. I was like, oh, Paul Giamatti, that makes me so sad.
And then
they have a conversation about him writing a monograph.
Right.
It's like a book, but shorter.
Sure.
Like, why can't you write a book? And she's like, I got a whole book in me. And she goes, you can't even dream a whole dream, can you?
Yeah, that's pretty sad. Not quite sure exactly. I know, Tully's just kind of like, can we do something fun? And he's like, no, we cannot do something fun, Mr. Tully.
Yeah, so at night he's running around the school chugging communion wine. So sick. Yeah. And playing piano while in a church while smoking cigarettes. So sick.
Yeah. And then eventually he like runs from Paul Giamatti, and Paul Giamatti's a lot of breath because he's a little overweight and smokes pipe all the time. And he does the gymnastic thing where he falls on his arm and dislocates his arm like crazy. Mm-hmm. It's good for a laugh. It was a little shocking. Wasn't expecting it.
Whole thing got me when they're like standing. He's like getting ice off the car and stuff like that, and then they're driving. It was really. It was good. Really enjoyed it.
It's good. Very funny. They get to the hospital and Tully does a big old fat lie.
Yeah, and I like his response when Paul Giamatti's like, "Why would you do that?" He goes, "Yeah, well, I had momentum."
And then they also, they get in trouble for the throw up in the gym. That was pretty funny.
They go to the bar first.
They go to the bar, yes.
The whole time, this whole movie, Chris, how do you fake a lazy eye?
Prosthetic?
Yeah, but it moved. Oh. Yeah. You have a contact lens that covers up your iris.
Can I be mean for a second?
With a fake one over it. What?
Did he not? He's not wall-eyed in real life?
I don't believe so, no.
Interesting.
I'm going to say, at least not to this degree.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, you're right. That's probably it. It's probably a contact lens with the eye on the other part of it, and so his actual eye's blocked out. And okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, they're chilling. They're having burgers and beer. It seems like the waitress might like Mr. Paul Giamatti.
Immediately, I was like, waitress has a boyfriend. Has a boyfriend. This is not going to end any other way.
But they get invited to Christmas party. They go to Christmas party.
They get in his car and he says, you stink. And he goes, I got stinky disease. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. That was a moment where I was like, Tully, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
The party's good for the kitchen scene. The kitchen scene is tough. Super tough.
I love before they go to the party, there's a shot of him shaving in the mirror. And then it transitions, like, it fades into her getting ready in the mirror.
Yeah.
But just the way it was, like, lined up.
Sure.
It's like he's on the left and you see, like, a big chunk of, like, the hallway next to him.
Yeah.
And then when it fades to her door frame cuts off right where that hallway started. So she's, like, halfway off screen. But her closet that she is about to walk to is right where he was in the frame. It was really nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
Anyway, at the party, she's crying in the kitchen. It's very tough.
This is true. I was also going to say eventually they find out that they take the same antidepressant. Not so different, you and I, Mr.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, they're crying.
I love when's the last time you saw a snow globe?
In this movie.
I feel like just in life.
In
Just
real life?
No one's got snow globes anymore.
Airports, sometimes, for, like, states. But that's it. Yeah, snow globes don't be around like they used to.
Also, nobody has house parties anymore.
I
was watching this. I was like, fuck, that'd be so sick to just go to somebody's
adult house.
to have an adult house party.
Food and some drinks.
Also, the inside of homes should be brown again. This place looks so homey.
I know, yeah. I'm thinking about putting some wood paneling in this baby.
I would love it, Chris. I'd be here every day.
Yeah.
Also,
people smoke inside.
I laughed very hard when she's like, yeah, it's like Picasso. And he goes, yeah, Picasso's cool.
Yes. Mr. Tully. They go home. Eventually, they go to Boston.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Mary says she has the cocktail flu. I've never heard someone say that for a hangover before. I love it. That's pretty badass.
Mr. Paul Giamatti goes gets a tree. Mr. Tully thinks it's bullshit a little bit.
Yeah,
he gets everybody Marcus Aurelius's Stoicism book, right? What does he get? What's it called?
Archetypes? No.
The Archetypes?
Something along
Something
those
like
that. It did get a good chuckle out of me at the end when you see he has a box full of them.
Yeah.
They have her over to Boston, and Mary stops at her sister's house.
Yeah, they dump her there. They go see a film. Mr. Tully and Paul Giamatti. Tully sneaks off. They get into a little tussle verbally because he's like, "You can't just sneak off. How long were you waiting to sneak off and stuff?" And he's like, "I gotta go see my dad." He's like, "We can go to a graveyard."
No graveyard.
No graveyard.
I think this happens later
in the Fresca script too. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Oh no, never mind. I got all my shit. No, okay, yeah, no. That they go and see his dad way later. They're in Boston together for a really long time, and I want to talk about a lot of it.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Outside bookstore, very funny. I don't know if that exists. Where the prostitute comes up to him. Then they go to the museum. What we were kind of just talking about. Have museums always looked like this, or could they just not have created a fake museum?
I don't know.
Because they were in that, and I was just like, oh, I forgot this movie takes place in 1970 for a second, because this looks like the DIA. So I was like, it just all looks way too modern to be the 70s, and who knows?
What the hell? Phone notifications. Silence that.
Chris, to just be an old guy who knows shit in a museum would be so cool. You know?
Just flexing.
Just
straight flexing.
I love the little detail. It really caught my attention in the museum. Those glasses are taped up the entire time, just right on the side.
Yeah,
beautiful. And then I'm trying to think of the order of operations. They go from the museum to ice skating.
I don't even remember ice skating, but continue.
They go ice skating, and maybe the funniest thing I've seen in this movie is they cut to just a Paul Giamatti with a lazy eye and a hat standing in the snow staring off into the middle distance while Cat Stevens played. I laughed out loud. It was so fucking funny to me. And he's just watching him snow skate.
Yeah.
And that's when they run into his old friend from Harvard.
Yes, I remember this, yes. And he lies to his face.
And he lies to his face.
Tully tries to help boost him up.
He does. He makes up the Agent Cameras book.
Okay, Alexa just made a noise. Weirdo.
And I love Tully kid, whatever this actor's name is.
Andrew Garfield.
Perfect comedic timing. I love as soon as they walk away, he goes, what the fuck just happened? Very funny. And I love them pacing around the liquor store.
That was good. That was good.
About he get kicked out of Harvard.
Yeah.
Because
they accused him of plagiarism. He did not plagiarize, but his friend had so much money that he could basically be like, that guy plagiarized. And the school was more interested in keeping his money than keeping Paul Giamatti around. So they just booted him in favor of money.
And if this is such an important plot point in the movie, I think it would be really funny if this movie was plagiarized.
But I'm pissed.
And then
that's it. Episode over. Okay.
Episode over. Now they're best friends.
Yeah.
Because they're hanging out. They're kind of drinking together. No, they're not drinking together. They wake up in the hotel the next day. That's where the what is it called? Librium. The antidepressant comes.
Yeah. Vibranium.
They both take Vibranium.
Have you been playing Marvel Rivals?
No, I can't get anyone to fucking play it with me. I'm so mad. It's
Isn't
free...
Isn't it cross-player platform? Play with me and my brother and my sister.
Are you guys playing?
We're all playing.
Oh my god, Chris, I want to play Marvel Rivals so bad.
Yeah. I'll text you when we're playing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've played just a couple of games like
I've only
versus
played a couple of games.
computers. Yeah,
I played
just
Doctor
haven't
Strange.
Ah.
Yeah.
I want to try out Iron Fist. He seems like fun. I like it. He doesn't tell him about the Librium. I don't know why. That just would make things like too easy. I think if they could just connect on that level immediately. I laughed. No, back a second. I laughed really hard when he's trying to confront him about lying to that guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What happens between me? What happens in a private conversation that I'm having is none of your business." He goes, "What are you talking about? Me and the wife were there."
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Anyway, now they're a little bowling.
Yeah.
There's that Santa in the bar.
And he dunks on him? Why does he dunk on him?
No, he doesn't dunk on him. He's just like, actually, Santa didn't look like this. And they just stare at him.
Okay.
I thought that Santa looked perfect. They did a great look.
Yeah.
And then they see a movie and he runs out.
Right.
And they go see Dad.
Papa, mind gone.
Crazy little dad, yeah.
Pretty sad when he was like, he gave his whole spiel about how he's like, Dad, I'm doing good in school and stuff. And it was quiet for a second. He's just like, there's something I want to tell you. They're poisoning my food. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Anywho.
And then it cuts to them in the restaurant waiting for Mary. And he gives them the whole speech of like, I'm going to end up just like my dad. And if I get kicked out of the school, I'm going to get sent to military school. And they're going to send me to Vietnam and I'm going to die and nobody's going to care.
Right.
And Paul Giamatti like yells at him. He's just like, "You're your own man. Fuck it. No, you're a kid. You're just starting. You have so much to." And like, this really got me. This whole like, I think being specifically an age in between both of them really works while watching this movie. And then Mary shows up, and they want the dessert with the bourbon in it. And
they make it in the parking lot.
And they make it in the parking lot.
Super
very
sweet.
Very sweet.
Super sweet. Because the waitress will not sell it to him because it involves bourbon and he's underage. Which is funny because this whole movie he's been like, you can't get a beer, you can't get a beer, you can't get a beer.
Mm-hmm. And then New Year's Eve, them with the janitor.
Right. And they let off a little firecracker in the...
Love it. Love it. And then school starts again.
Yeah.
Gets called to the principal's office.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this. I mean, as soon as she walked in, she was like, they want to see... Like, even before she said they want to see you, I was like, oh, he's getting called in. Like, as soon as she walked into his office, I was like, he's getting called in. I didn't know what for.
Yeah.
But then they were the parents, and, you know, apparently the school notified Mama that baby went and saw Daddy.
Because Daddy had a snow globe.
Oh, right, yeah.
And so
he tried to
hospital
dome somebody
called
globe.
Mom. And then Paul Giamatti lies.
Yeah.
And says that it was his idea to go. But also your son's my best friend, so please don't kick him out of the school.
Yeah.
And then so they kick Paul Giamatti out instead.
Yeah.
And I think at the end...
When, I also did laugh. I wasn't expecting it when he's like, he says like to the director or whatever. I don't even know what his name was. He's like, Michael, I'm only saying this because I've known you for decades, but you are literally penis cancer in human form, or whatever he said.
So good.
Penis cancer got me though.
And yeah, goddamn, when they're standing at his U-Haul truck,
yeah,
and they're saying their goodbyes, and Paul Giamatti goes, "Hey, you can do this," and he goes, "Yeah, so can you." And Paul Giamatti looks like he's gonna cry for a second, and they look like they're about to hug, but they just shake hands.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that was perfect."
And the guy goes, "See ya," and he just starts running. Like a
and he goes, "All right,
so
see you around."
funny.
And he just books it. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then
I said he looked shitty, Denise.
And then Paul Giamatti drives off in his car.
Yeah.
And he spits out the window.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go write a book in Italy.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll give it like a solid B.
I want to give it either an A plus or an A minus or a B plus.
Okay.
I'm gonna land on a B plus.
B plus. All right. Let me write these things down.
Because I don't know what I don't like about it, but I don't want to give it an A for some reason.
No, yeah, I hear ya. Well, that's a wrap for our cute little Christmas episode. Next year, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Merry
Christmas to all who celebrate. And even if you don't, fucking Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, happy Hanukkah. I think first day of Hanukkah is day after Christmas is here.
Is that true?
So that's very
I
exciting.
thought this shit happened forever ago. For some reason I thought Hanukkah was early December, but I don't know nothing.
I don't know what the rules of Hanukkah are, but yeah, according to my phone, first day of Hanukkah is the 26th, along with Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
So happy holidays to everybody.
You know what's crazy is I just found out I don't have the actual numbers. Obviously, I'm not a human computer, but there's like a, you know, there's only like it's like something like 2% of like the world's population is like Jewish.
Really?
Yeah. It's actually like a surprise. I mean, because again, they don't proselytize or whatever, and it's like super hard to join. But I didn't know how small of an actual like. Look it up. Like how much it could be bigger than 2, but it's. Look it up real quick. Just type in how much of the world's population is Jewish. You know. But yeah, it's interesting because it's like, you know, just to frame. I was listening to a podcast that was kind of talking about like the, you know, conspiracy theory of like, oh, the Jews run the world or whatever, and where that comes from and stuff, and like to just frame it as like, you know, it predates both, you know, Islam and Christianity, which, you know, what is it? What's the number?
0.02%.
0.02, so even less than I thought. Look up how much of the world is Christian.
I'm way ahead of you, bud.
But it predates both of those two huge religions that make up the majority of the world's population. And basically, Judaism stands as your shit is not true to that. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, they're just basically saying, like, yeah, what you believe is wrong. And so, you know, sadly, both of those religions just generally have an attitude of, like, we got to get rid of these people who call us dummies. You know,
31.6% of the world's population is Christian.
Yeah, look up Muslim.
25.8.
25.8. Yeah.
That can't be right.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like there's like I just don't trust Google anymore. Huh. Now that it's got the AI overview thing, I just don't trust any of the results I'm getting. So yeah. I'd like to look further into this, but also we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see if I remember to do it.
Yeah. There's also a large portion of the world that is. I don't have the actual numbers for this, but like, you know, like I know that China and India make up a huge portion, right? And I think India has a lot of Hindu, and then China is generally more of the agnostic atheist stuff. They don't really believe in you know, so that would be the other couple chunks, you know, and then a smattering of others, you know.
The thing I was just looking at before I closed it, the top 3 it said was Christian, Hindi, and unaffiliated. So you're kind of nailing it according to Google.
Wow. But anyways,
we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
With
hopefully next year there's no anti-Semitism anymore.
Hopefully, especially in this podcast.
Yeah. When did we do it?
I don't know, but
I don't think we ever did it.
I'm just hoping it doesn't happen.
Yes.
Yeah, is that wrong of me?
No.
You got plans for next year?
Big plans.
All right, we'll see you next year with Sling Blade and Tron.
All right, well, that's that. Mattress Man.
If you need more soup, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or go to our website, eatingsoupalone.com. And until next time,